Grand Rising Soul Siblings is Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. Um, and I just wanted to, I'm doing just some looking into a couple of things that came to mind after this whole thing happened here uh, in the Midwest, okay, in Wisconsin. So I've been posting a lot of things past uh, since it happened, right? So again, I'm just someone who is going to be skeptical, therefore question everything. And again, some of this stuff makes more sense when you actually really stop and think about it instead of going on emotion. And don't, a lot of people don't like when you say, why are you emotional? But it's true. That's the thing. We have to start looking at ourselves, the way we react to certain things, the way they use certain things, patterns. Patterns matter. They matter. So, knowing the works of these particular people that have been running things in this world from their beginning, which is Genesis, okay? And they have been using the resources of the land, which include the people, from that time in order to, sorry, I'm walking around. I need to get a different chair. In order to control the narrative, okay? Especially when it comes to the Dalit or the so-called black people or the original people of lands, right? So that's what they do. That's what the whole thing about the caste system is. It is to come and fix the earth. You may say on its axis or on their asses. That's just, that ain't got nothing to do with each other, but the asses part, I just put it in there. Okay, sorry. Because that's where we are. Okay. And then what they do is start to build their foundation or their establishment on top of said people. It's just, once we get this, I mean, it's the easiest way without going into every single law and all this stuff, to just see it as a whole kind of thing and let it marinate there, and then let it guide you, when you're going further, to know exactly what I like to go back to the beginning, the foundation of things, especially when it's dealing with these people, and travel along so that you can learn how your um so-called oppressor, or these people, these entities, I don't like to call them people because I'm not sure. So these entities, and how they work. See, you have to look at someone for their works, not just what they're saying when they're all polished up and put in front of you on television. No, you have to really do your due diligence. Okay. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're in their feelings about these people. So there's a blockage there. And we just must realize that. Okay. And you must check, because your fact checker is going to be different than everybody else's. Some of us are on whole different roads when it comes to this journey. So again, you may see something one way, I may see it another. So again, anytime, and we try to do that to each other, we're clear with disagreeing with each other. But when it comes to these particular people that have been put in front of you, and their puppets that have been strung along in order to create narratives and to get you to move and sway whatever way they want you to, you don't question it. See, they want you in your feelings, and you stay in your feelings. Some of us are not going there. We're thinkers first. It had to make fucking sense first before you get me to invest my time and energy. And even when I'm investing my time and energy, it is to help put that, uh, it's to help, again, reach back to some people that are already on the verge of seeing things, and to pull them up. Because again, the mind is what's under attack from the beginning. Okay. When it comes to, it's not the actual Bible. It's not the actual, it's the mind. Okay. The religion. Okay. The belief in the faith and all that shit. That's dealing with your mind. Okay. So again, they had to give you a perception of something first before they actually gave it to you, in order for you to even understand it. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I am just someone, and I know that a lot of people on my timeline are as well, people that look at a different, if everybody's focusing on this, I'm looking in the other direction. If everybody's focusing on getting the new Nikes, I've always been the one with my fucking K Swiss. You know what I'm saying? So this is even growing up. Okay. I don't like nobody trying to control my narrative, and I'm not a follower. I'm not a leader, but I'm not a follower. I'm an observer. I'm someone that looks. I hear, I listen. Okay? So again, it just so happens that those particular people are the ones that are challenged the most. Okay? But again, I've learned to not even deal with it. I'm putting what I want on my platform. If you don't, my platform, sorry. And if you don't like it, oh well. I guarantee, though, if you're supposed to be one of the ones that are waking up, you'll remember something. Something will come to mind. Okay? At some point in time, you're going to say, well, damn, didn't somebody say, now this shit is trying to, again, it happened to me. So, okay. So, anyways, we're going to look at a couple of things because I'm just wondering, okay, since we already posted the video the other day of one of our soul siblings in the group that did a live back in June, I think June 5th in Atlanta, when Atlanta was going through their stage of riots, okay? And there was a guy in that video that admitted as well that there are people being brought in from different states that are doing the damage, okay? And that this guy was in plain clothes, just like the boy, I won't even mention his name, that was over in Kenosha that shot those people, okay? He had the same type of gun, okay? I don't deal with weapons like that or whatever, so I don't know what. But to me, I am a visual fucking person, okay? And just like I am with faces, it looked to be the same type of AK, whatever the fuck, AR, whatever, that the other guy had. He was holding it the same way. He was standing there talking about he works for something around here, just like the guy said in Kenosha that he works at this place over here. Okay, and I'm someone that always like to go back to history because there was a time in Kenosha. Maybe we'll talk about it another time. Where the same type of rioting thing. I want to say it was 1906, if I'm not mistaken. And it was funny because I was reading about like this place called Nash Dealership that was on 60th. Okay. Um, uh, well, okay. Sorry. I'm from the area, so I'm saying it like y'all live there, but again, some of y'all might and might not. Okay, so um it was a car dealership, and I think they had like what from what I was reading, it seemed like they had a National Guard point stand like base there. Okay. And then they had certain bases at other places on that list. Okay. And I noticed that they had bases at schools and bases at other, I don't know, you guys, it just, I just, the way, when they say history repeats itself, like my daughter just told me the other day, now I know they be listening. Is it because the same people are controlling it? And yes, that it is. That's the case. That's the case. That's the case. Okay. So there's nothing new under these suns of these gods with these lower case G's. Okay. In your government. Okay. So again, um, it made me think about when he was pointing in that direction, saying, "Oh, I work for that place or whatever," but he's not here from here. But maybe he does drive all the way over here from Antioch, which will be a not that much of a drive, but it's a little bit of a drive. Okay. Um, and why would you come all the way from Antioch to come and bring your gun and protect a place that is a place that you just work at that you don't own? So again, it still wouldn't make any sense. And then the hand gestures and the signals. I always tell you guys, signs and symbols run the world. Always look at people's hands when they're talking to you on the media and in anything that is put nation worldwide. When I scream psyop about these things, I'm not saying that the whole thing is there. They might have, someone could have possibly died, right? They take that and say, what can we do with it? And they hurry up and turn it into something where they can control the narrative, payouts, things like this for people to hush money so that they can use the story in order to, they may even manipulate the people involved as to why they're doing it, right? Because they don't care about anything but the money or the funds. Some of these people end up with, you know, huge bank accounts. Some of these people are people that have been in jail that could be informants that could have been signed some kind of deal or something to get. I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, we all know it happens, right? So I'm not saying that so-called black men don't get shot and harmed by the police. I'm just asking you to wonder why they're the only ones that are displayed on the television and why they want to make them national and world news when it comes to you, when you really don't matter that much. See? You have to ask these questions so that they can quit playing with your minds and so you can get on the real team as to what we need to do to get the fuck up out of this. That's just it. You got to face the facts. And you have to ask questions. Okay? So we seen the video when that happened, and a lot of the whole same things that were happening there, like the people of the town getting the text message to go home and stay home. But the people that are tearing the city up must not have gotten the memo because they're still out there and police are out there plenty enough to take these people and make sure that they get home. But no, they stay out until all times of night and do all these things and no one tries to even stop it. So I'm just confused at this point. And then before the first day, they have these people out there talking about we need to vote. This is the only way we can get out of here. You know, you have all these people in their presence there talking about shit that we think matter, but it really don't. That's why they letting you talk about it. It's really annoying at this point, guys. And I'm not saying that I know everything. I know that I can count on my soul siblings to also incite thought. See, because I know that I'm not looking up in the sky for a savior. I know the savior is one of us, all of us, united. Okay, matter of fact. Okay, I know the savior is working through us as vessels at this particular time. So, this is why I say there ain't no other savior than you. But first, you have to look in the mirror. First, you have to challenge the way you thinking. And if you're really thinking your own thoughts, or are you thinking the thoughts that the people that are running things want you to think? Again, because this is all about psychology. This is about covert warfare, psychological, spiritual. It's all in one. So there's so many levels to the shit that's going on or went on in Kenosha and all these other cities than you think. Okay, so let's just go there. Okay, because I could see her all day, but I don't want the video to be too long for you guys. I know people don't like that. Attention span won't let them. Okay, or maybe they just not interested in what I'm saying. So anyhow, we're gonna look at this, and then I was wondering. Okay, so I hope I pointed that kind of thing out. Okay, and then also we can keep in mind the fact that if you go on the Facebook group, you'll see the past couple of posts that I put up within the past 24 hours. These are all correlating or have something to do with what I'm saying here. Okay. With the fact that it seems like Trump was taunting the governor to, oh, hurry up and let the National Guard in. Things will be back at peaceful quick. And then he didn't say anything. And I think the next day is when he said, oh, we were on the phone with the governor and now things are, we're going to get the guards in and everything's going to be cleaned up fast. But again, there was nothing left. All of the paid people of anarchy have left the building. The people that tore up this city and left the real people out there on the street, they confused. They don't even know what to fucking do the next day. Now that all of the people that were there at the staged portion of this riot. Okay? So now they've moved on to the next city where they're going to do this at. And there's probably something to have to do with the governors and the president fighting for some type of power or something. Okay? You guys just really, we have to dig deep. If you want to be a part of it, stop spreading false emotional information. Do the fucking research. That's it. And don't, and actually, hey, this person does research. You know what I'm saying? Not this person, does research, but, I don't think I can, because I don't like what they, and this is what I'm saying. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. I don't mark and tag people because of their opinion about stuff. Again, when you become, when you come to that point in your awakening, you just know what you need to be doing. Okay. So again, to each his own. I don't have to agree with everything that you say to share something that you said or to really think about something that you said. No. So, and I can see who has the potential and who doesn't. Okay. So again, let's go ahead and look at this. Sorry, guys. So go back there so I don't spend all day talking about all the stuff that I posted. Go to the group and look at the couple things that I posted and how all of a sudden They're sending in the guards, but again, all of the people that was tearing shit up is gone. How does that happen? See, what do you need them for now? You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like Chicago not wanting to get help from the government. What are you hiding? Because like I said, at first I was thinking the National Guards or whatever coming in would be a problem. But when it comes to places like that, when I know it's some crazy shit going on there with those departments, what you scared of? See? And Trump was taunting them when he first got in. Oh, you better straighten the shit up, or else I'm about to have to send the boys in. And again, what happened? And you got Miss Littlefoot. I'm not gonna say the real name. um, she is again, the main one seemed like, oh, don't, okay, we have everything, we don't need this, we need, okay, see, because I think it's when they go into there, they're gonna find out some real shit about what's going on with these people in Chicago. We're gonna find out some real well, they may not tell us, going on within their forces or their departments. Okay. So again, enough of that ranting. Let's go ahead and look at what we're looking at. So I wanted to know how many people have been shot at these protests. How did it happen? Why are we seeing so many similarities? Okay, I'm always looking for patterns. Y'all know that on this channel. How many times has this occurred? How many places have had the feds or other people come in, or the National Guard or whoever else come in when these events happen? How long did it take? What happened around that time? Let's see if some of these things are the same as what was going on in Kenosha. Okay, so we have Minneapolis here. Okay, so here it is. Let's see. Violence and controversies during the George Floyd protest. Now, everything is not going to be written here. Some of the stuff is for you to discern or maybe pick and choose and then go and do further research. But we have some stuff here. Okay. So they're saying 32 at this point and 14,000 arrests. Again, Kenosha, when the whole rioting thing was going on, they arrested 15 people, I think. And I think already last night when the protesters were pretty much more peaceful, they arrested 35 or 32. Anyways, we don't need to know about Canada, Belgium, France, whatever, the United Kingdom or whatever. You can look at that on your own. We want to look here. Okay. So, okay. Oh, and we already know that people have caught police burning their own vehicles during these riots and acting as though someone else did it. So again, we know that it's funny how the Kenosha city had given the people of Kenosha these trash cans and stuff, to use, and they told them new trash cans because they used to have to put bags on the ground. Okay, they told them, hey, we have these new trash cans, but they sent a memo out and said do not use them until the 24th. Well, this thing happened on the 23rd, I'm thinking, if I'm not mistaken. And they had really old trucks too, right? So they chose to use these trucks in order to line the streets so that as a barricade, okay, garbage trucks. So I find it funny that I think the first night is when this happened, that the fire truck, I mean garbage trucks were burned up and destroyed. Okay, only to already have brand new truck. Again, they could have had this plan, but it's just so funny how we're talking about the 24th, the day after they had been burned. So what else could they be getting compensation wise because of the fact that they were now damaged? Should the city be paying for something else, but they've gotten new garbage trucks? Is this the fancy ones, right? With the arm that's on it. So could this be now that the very next day after all this stuff happened, there's the new garbage trucks, the new garbage cans they've already had. And they had a memo to say don't use them until then. That could be nothing, but it could be something. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that all this stuff is happening on a higher level, and they're just using the emotions and the propaganda that they control the narrative for so-called Black people and everyone else in order to incite things, right? So there's a lot of people with their hands a lot of puppet masters with their hands on the strings at this point in time. It's not just one thing or the other. It's so much intertwined into it to see how they can get something from it, from you, spiritually, financially, whatever. Okay. So it says here that, sorry, I just like to put things out there. Okay. Lay them out. Just, I'm sorry. So, Calvin Horton, I don't like to say the names, y'all. Calvin died after being fatally shot at a pawn shop that was being looted. The owner of the pawn shop was initially arrested in connection with the incident, but he was later released without charges. And the case remained open as of late June 2020. Also, on May 27th, a man known as Umbrella Man, dressed in black clothing and a gas mask, carried an umbrella and sledgehammer. Was now a lot of these protesters, again, the first day within hours, had umbrellas for some reason. Okay, not to say it's connected. I'm just saying. I just when you talk about that, then I'm gonna remember what I seen. Um, but they were in color. They were colorful umbrellas. Okay. So, was recorded on video breaking windows of an AutoZone store, spraying graffiti, and encouraging looting. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. These people are encouraged, or they are planted there in order to do the looting and the arson or whatever they call it. So they're the ones that will throw the fire. These Look at these buildings that okay, in these areas. Some of these buildings had to be getting burned down by a professional arson. I think that's what you call the people that start fires. Okay. These were not regular people just throwing something with fire. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, I'm from that area. So I know the people, and they are not fucking up their town. Even the people of darker pigment, they're not going to be doing this. These people have deep roots and family bloodlines as well on a smaller level in that town that will not be doing that. Okay? So something else is going on. And while the regular people that live there are told to stay in their homes, these people are able to go out and tear up their businesses and other things. So don't get entangled in your feelings, because you're going to go through some waves looking at this shit, because it's on so many different levels. It's on so many different levels. So if you somebody that's quick to anger or in your feelings, don't talk, because you're causing more confusion and division than anything. You have to make it make fucking sense. I don't care if it's a million people that's not making it make sense. The one person that's making it make sense is the target. This is how they know how to operate and how to control the narrative for you, because you fall for it every time. We fall for it every time. Okay? This is another reason why some of this work that we're doing is for those who are set apart, or the so-called black sheep of the family, or those that know how to keep to themselves and keep on with their consciousness than be bothered. Not to say that people are a bother, but I'm just saying they like to be in solitude. They like to think. They like to listen. They like to take walks in the park. They like clarity. Okay? Once you start doing this work, you don't have time for drama. You don't have time for bullshit. You own something. You've been sent here by something that is higher and bigger than any of us as a one individual. Okay? So they rather link with people that they can communicate with and build with. It's nothing, no offense against anyone else. Okay? So again, he was doing this stuff or whatever. And then yeah, same thing we were seeing before. Okay, he did the stuff and then he was encouraging looting. So once these people come in and they tear stuff up and burn stuff up, they're moving on to the next place at some point in time. They're there for a spell. Okay, and then guess what? When they break those windows open, then the regular people that think this is about rioting and this is what you do because that's what they've seen on television, you know what they do? They go in there and they take the shit out. But the people that are initially breaking and wrecking things are not the locals. Not in this case. Not to say that one or two of them couldn't have, but as a whole, no. No. You can't get me to believe that. Okay? So, um initial claims that the umbrella man was a St. Paul police officer were debunked. So this is, wait a minute, hold on. So May 27th, people were saying that this dude was a police officer, and it was debunked by surveillance video released in St. Paul. See, because some of these people is in plain clothing, like we seen in the video I shared and yesterday, and we seen with this guy that had the same type of shit uh that the other guy had in the other city in Atlanta. And like this dude was supposed to be an aspiring police officer. Or supposedly they make sure they put the Blue Lives Matter. I ain't seen that shit yet until yesterday when they showed that dude, that boy, with that damn banner on his picture and that circle around his face on his page. That was my first time seeing something about some damn Blue Lives Matter. But again, it's been introduced now. But it's funny how they're saying that he was an inspiring officer, and he was able to walk away from the scene and actually make it back home and all this shit. Okay. So again, we just have to question these things. Okay. So it says here, police later received an anonymous tip via email that the man may be 32-year-old man with ties to white supremacists. Again, this is what they want you to do. They know as soon as they use that term, even though if you really realize there's no such thing as white supremacy, only foreign privilege. Again, especially when it comes to the American Aborigines or so-called black people, you need to know these things. Then it all fits into play. These are people of a caste system you are under. They built their establishment on top of you. And then that's when I won't go into that because everybody doesn't agree with it. And I'm trying to give one point across here. Okay. So they are in an elevated status, a hierarchy. And those people are running the world. Those bloodlines are still in control to this day, from colonization or Genesis until today. And again, let's see, the white uh uh all of these people that are in these groups are not white. They're your LeBron James. See what I'm saying? They're your Boule is what you call them sometimes. Some of these people look just like you, and they are foreigners to this land, and they know who you are and you don't know who you are, and that's why they play the games they do with you, and you worship these people as if they were idols, as if they were right there with you going through the same shit as you. Do that make sense? Then how you gonna get mad at so-called white people that don't live like you and sit in the same areas as you, that's doing these particular things, to call them supreme? And if someone is supreme, who can be more supreme than the earth? Especially when it comes to the spiritual realm, when most of these people came out of her. And that's a womb of the so-called black woman around this world, this entire world. The indigenous, native, and then some of these foreign people, okay, that have been allowed to enjoy the benefits or the riches of the earth because you've been subdued by their gods in Genesis 1. So I would have to be admitting that these people are supreme to me. And that's not the case because I know what I know about before their fucking beginning in Genesis. And again, so if we keep using these terms without breaking them down and realizing that that is not the proper information, you're never going to get a result. This is where all the confusion starts. These people have privileges that were given to them by their gods because they reside in the abode of God, which is the higher part of the caste system when it comes to that fucking pyramid. They brought them over here in abundance. This is what the real flood is about. See? Okay? So the organizations, and I hate being going, but again, it doesn't matter because if you go back to the beginning, to the fucking core, it's all the same. So everything you're seeing right now is an effect of that was in their beginning. That's why you have to look to the past, not only just your past, you've been here for a fucking flick of time. You have to go back to the past to see what we're going into now. And then a lot more things will make sense and people will not be making decisions, controlling your feelings in the narrative for you. So, according to the affidavit obtained by the media, however, the suspect in question has not been charged and the identity of the umbrella man remains unconfirmed. Okay? So there's one death. All right? So May 28th. Sorry. Minneapolis. Federal and state. Okay, so now we're talking federal and state authorities. This is the thing. When we look at authorities, okay, this is what when we're looking at authorities, this means that same thing as the Casual Killing Act, where everyday so-called white men or overseers or people of authority back then, because some of these slave masters were actually darker hue as well. Okay. So it means that these people were able to kill you if they thought it was necessary and they would not be penalized. So you have to ask yourself if that has been resent or if something has happened where that is not the case anymore, or has it been given another name in another title and moved on and we're still living under that same thing because we're still living under the caste system. So when we're talking these authorities, are they doing something illegal? Yes, it is not what you think is right, the right thing to do, because you're living in an illusion as to who you are and who they are. But if this law in any way or this act in any way is still open, they are not doing anything illegal. And this may be why they are not going to jail most times. And even the one or two times that they say they do, they may not be still. They're just giving you the perception that something happened to this person. So let's keep going. May 28th. Okay. We see that this guy was gunned down at the pawn store. Okay. So let's see. The federal and state authorities recovered a body on July 20th at the Max It Pawn Shop that appeared to have suffered thermal injuries. The pawn shop, located several blocks east of the city's 3rd precinct station and in an area of heavy rioting, we're just looking for a pattern here, was destroyed by fire on May 28th. And all these numbers and shit, all this stuff means something too. I'm just saying, signs and symbols, numbers run the world. A 25-year-old man from Rochester was federally charged in June with arson for the fire at the pawn shop. Again, how do we know? Some shit you may not be able to know. But again, what we're looking for is a pattern. May 29th, a 21-year-old man was killed when his car was fired upon in downtown Detroit. He was shot in the middle of the police brutality demonstrations. Although police claimed the incident had no connection to the protest. Do that make sense? In Oakland, amid unrest, a federal protective service officer. Is this something like a backing the blue service officer? Hmm. Could they be working for? I'm. We just asking questions here. David Patch. David Underwood. These names are really starting to kill all these compound surnames. Because again, I read the Bible and I see certain things different, and even with history, you could see a lot of these surnames. It's just more. It's all the way down to those fine details, the layers. It's the layers. It's the layers. It ain't no need of me spending all this time talking about it if you don't see it. Okay, so was fatally shot outside a federal courthouse in a drive-by attack that also wounded another guard. So just like that guy was sitting out there saying he was a guard, and just like this dude supposedly was trying to guard something, Underwood may had been providing security at the courthouse during a protest. Really? The Department of Homeland Security labeled the shooting an act of domestic terrorism. So once it comes to it seeming like once it hits domestic terrorism level, that's when the guards are supposedly maybe sent in some of these times. I'm just trying to put shit together here. What the hell is this? Boogaloo movement member Stephen was charged with murder on June 16th. Okay. He was also implicated in a murder of a Santa Cruz deputy. A white van allegedly used in a murder had Boog and I become unreasonable written in blood on the vehicle, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I don't know what this is, but I know that people have been saying some of these people come in vans. Even in the picture that one of our soul siblings shared, you've seen vans lined up there. They were harvesting people behind schools, I'm hearing, in certain cities just recently. And once the locals go in the house, what happens? Okay. 29-year-old protester Barry died after being run over by a FedEx truck that was fleeing from looters. These seem like sacrifices or ritualistic things, even if you look at the dates and the ages and things like that. I don't know. Maybe I just read too much of this damn Bible and history because I can just see it right here. The names, everything. 22-year-old protester in Nebraska was fatally shot outside a bar. The shooter was Jacob Gardner, the bar owner who had a scuffle with some protesters and fired several shots. Didn't this happen in Kenosha too? The guy was in the middle of the road and he was scuffling with a couple of people and then shot them. One of which killed Skurlock. 2 days later, authorities announced that there would be no charges for the bar owner, and that he had opened fire in self-defense. However, after pushback, the matter was referred to the grand jury for review. I'm going to stop there, and we're going to come back. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and join us in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained.